Alrighty, now this thing's actually working again, I can quickly read this last bit off and be done with this. Store away next to care. So I go into this. Let's see. This part and this part. Got so much water on this tablet. Alrighty. So here we are. There. Make sure this thing's doing its thing. Come on. Flick on. There it goes. Alright. Part 9, Hellish Rebuke. Scene 1 is very short, so Marie's escape. It is Friday morning, a joyous day. Today is when Marie officially leaves Franc. Everything of hers has been moved to Kevin's. In case Franc notices the house looking sparser, Marie's things have been replaced with cheap items. Franc will wake up in 30 minutes, his usual time. Marie walks out, gets in her car, and drives to her new home. En route, she calls her mom. She informs her that Franc will be very busy for a few days. It's best not to call him. Marie also asks to meet up later, to have their usual talk just a few days early. Mom happily agrees. Marie arrives at her new home, greeted by her soulmate. The two spend the next hour on the couch, holding to one another. Holding one another. Marie cries happily. Finally, she's free of the devil. Scene 2. Franc's bad day. Franc wakes up, rolls over, and reaches. Nothing. He's usually the first up, but it seems Marie has beaten him today. No matter. He arises and dresses. He heads down into the kitchen, oddly lacking its usual scent of fresh coffee. It hasn't been made. Was she in a rush? Maybe to tell Joe she's quitting as manager. That would be a good doggy. Not so much for forgetting to make his coffee, but this is a special exception. He shrugs this off and starts up the batch, placing his favorite mug ready to receive. Comma that out. He may be a tad late for work, but his friends won't make a fuss. Franc heads downstairs for a bit. Something feels off. He looks around. Everything is where it should be. Still, he can't shake the feeling. The house feels emptier, yet all of his things are in their places. Is he reminiscing on the parties of the last few weeks? Whatever, he thinks. It feels weird down here, so he heads back up, waiting for his coffee. A jingle startles him. He visibly jumps. That's never happened before? This weird feeling is really messing with him. Enough so that he briefly forgot whose ringtone this is. He forgets. But in a moment, he realizes this and immediately picks up. Guten Tag. Let us deal with this in English, shall we? You have taken quite a liking to America, have you not? As if I cried from Germany. The soccer is especially lacking. You'll have plenty of time to fix that, I'm sure. Only until Real releases their criteria, so you can finally buy them out. Is that why you are calling me directly? It's not time for my report. Has it happened? Not yet. We got someone on the inside. He has told us all of their needs. Then we are good in shape then, yes? I suppose I won't be teaching the Americans how to play soccer. Enough, you with a sack of shit-stained scum. Sir, we know you've been scamming us. Did the big American man promise you something better than a top-level management position? Did you not want to become a head of our Germany branch once we moved to the UK? I bet he's taken a liking to this American boss, a lover's interest. I wouldn't have thought Franc to be so meek. It's just an American-obsessed dumbass. Or that cowboy talk was a sign, an omen to this. This incredible betrayal. Sir and Madame, I sent over everything Suma has been doing, the special projects and the secrets ones I learned. Surely there's been a mistake. Mistake? Yes, having you serve as our agent. The information you sent was correct on the first 3 points, the ones we could have found out ourselves. The last 2, though, aren't on the list. Then your man is lying to you. He is betrayal. My brother-in-law is a fine man, a good family man. He never lied to me. How dare you? I didn't mean that. You must be mistaken. I passed on everything I could gather from the Americans. What I've told you is the truth. He's playing both sides, clearly. He acts like he's been tricked, hoping to get something from both of us and the Americans. A truly hopeless, weak, peasant-like attempt. He's not worth to us. Just end this call and wipe his existence from our memories and company records. Discharged due to industrial spy. Replace with everything is... They hung up, leaving Franc completely dumbfounded. This brother-in-law is full of it. Franc's done an incredible job finding Summer's secrets. He's toiled day after day for 2 straight years, schmoozing into the highest ranks. No one could have done that but him. He grips a mug and throws it against the wall. I did everything for them. They think they can betray me like this. I'll have my vengeance. I shot in the back where they want to play, like that Lincoln man. I'll put up a grand show for them, and then a pop. Right in the gut. They'll bleed for days, agonizing, wishing they hadn't wronged me. They are the ones who are mistaken. Never trust family with business. Rule number 1. The coffee starts drizzling onto the floor. Franc shoved another mug in there. Furious. Marie should have made this for him. There's no excuse for this. She would need a harsher lesson. First, though, he has a day of work to do. You know, Greg trusts him. He's due for a grand promotion. Greg recognizes his good work. Yes, Franc will be promoted to regional manager. He'll set up something for Rep and pull the boards out from under them when the time is right. Into the Shark Tank they go, to be eaten alive. Yes, he likes that thought. He drinks his coffee and heads out. The day yet shines bright. Franc arrives at work, just 10 minutes late. 1 train off. He walks into the room, quickly apologizes, and sits down. Before you get to work, Greg wants to see you. Oh, probably because you're late. That's not why. He informed us when he came in, and has now been waiting for 10 minutes. Oof, unusually harsh for you, despite being a pansy week. Kayla has been a good teacher. Oh, so you managed to keep her for a week. Several, in fact, more than you'll ever muster. Don't need a lover. I'm a one-stop shop kind of guy. So you don't want return customers? That little dinghy will go out of business. The fuck you say to me? Guys, save it for soccer. Franc, see you when you get back. Yes, see you soon. Dominic and Sean continue to banter. Sean is actually keeping pace this time. That sushi chef is doing him wonders. Franc was relieved at first when he walked in and saw everyone. Now, with Sean's change in demeanor, Franc feels uneasy. The bad feeling from the morning was definitely just a foreshadowing of betrayal of employers. It is lingering, or is it something else? Franc knocks on Greg's door and is called in. Greg is sitting at his desk, gesturing to an empty chair across. Franc sits, hiding his anxiousness. A little late today. It was not a good morning. First, it is. Times are changing. Just a bit of a surprise. What happened? It is, well, just a break in routine. My fiancée always makes the morning coffee. Today she didn't. In fact, she was up and out before me. She was recently promoted, so that must be why. It looks like things are going well for her. You must be ecstatic. Yes, I am happy with this. So, what can I do for you? I have some news to share. Yes? My friend inside Real has been keeping us up to date on their meetings. There's been a lot of talk about what companies would be the best fit. They're leaning our way. We've basically won this. 2 years of grueling work will pay off in the coming weeks. When they release their criteria, we'll jump in. Well, that is amazing news. It has been difficult, but the reward is well worth it. Since we're basically in the clear, I'll be preparing for the new roles. Ah, yes. There's much to arrange around here. Linda will be leaving. Her time is done. She was a hard worker, but a bit much when it came to people. She lacked common sense, something us negotiators have in spades. You've made quite the journey, haven't you? You flew over from Europe, walked through my door, and have been with us since. It is quite a change. America is a unique place. I was willing to leave my home for better ventures. You hired me, and I've been very thankful. Now that the deal is just about done, I hope to experience greater heights within the company. I'll work harder than I ever have. I'll work harder than ever. That's the spirit. Life is work, then more work. Then, hopefully, a sweet reward. The times ahead of you will be harder. The hardest you've ever experienced. In reverse to what I just said, your reward is up front. It is an amazing one. I can hardly wait. That's the best part. You won't have to. You get to go on a grand journey, travel across the land, sea, air. A necessity, but one I'm sure you're well prepared for. Sir, I am at your disposal. I couldn't agree more. You're fired. Franc doesn't react at first. Somewhere in his mind, he's waiting for the good news. Seconds tick by, yet nothing. The gears start to turn, time catching up. Franc takes in the first part of Greg's sentence again. I couldn't agree more. Franc was elated to hear this. Greg is about to bestow that promotion onto him. It's taking a while, sure. Why? Is Greg holding back to let it sink in more? Back to let it sink in. That grand showboater, he's definitely playing this up. Fighting? Fighting for word. A greater achievement in summer? Well, Franc is certainly well equipped to... Fired? Fired? Took it long enough. What was that, 14 seconds? You've gone slow. Well, slower. Nah, I'd say 2 years in the dark is pretty slow. Maybe I should count your entire life. So much waste. Franc tilts his head as far to the side as he can. His eyes stare blankly, dazed. He's not able to process what's happening. Gray continues. You've done good work here. Really helped out Ted's team. Since you're so good with people, you'll get to find a new job in another country. Don't worry about us. I'll be retiring soon. This deal was my legacy. Linda will tend to this crop and harvest something greater. You know, she's the best employee and friend I've ever had. The whole people problem was only with you, and solely because she saw right through you. That show during the summary meeting was an act to maintain the image of her we knew you had. Linda's actually quite nice to everyone else. She's an amazing manager and will lead Summer to a great future as its CEO. Though, we'll need a regional manager. Sorry, I should have clarified. Linda's going to be moving to the UK and run things at the new HQ. Matthew will be in charge of this branch. I don't think you've ever met him. Whenever we had an office party, I was sure to keep him, and the other managers I trust the most, well away from you. Matthew is well deserving of the role. He's done so much to prepare us for Rio's eyes. He's really worked his butt off on the other two criteria. I've been in the business for decades. The previous CEO of Summer was a good man, a great mentor. I learned so much from him. The most valuable of all is the sense. Granted, Linda is naturally gifted, but I'm pretty good. Also, well, you see, I can sniff out when someone's smoozing. Brown nosers tend to act a certain way. The most gifted at this are really hard to detect. Linda, though, can pierce that veil in an instant. She's really talented at reading other people's expressions, body language, verbal language. A true people person she is. She pointed it out, and I quickly saw as well. Someone with a need to advance themselves while leaving behind their peers and underlings. Someone who uses people and throws them away. It was so obvious it hurt. But he was of use. I fed him false company information. Do I do a he? But you were of use. I fed you false company information. Did you know that all the people I told you were fired? Know that all the people I told you were fired for budget cuts were just on temporary paid leave. The barista is a good young girl. I'm not giving her kicking to the street. The security team, too, is of high caliber. These people, and the others I've told you about, are coming back. This was an investment. This and the realty thing. Two criteria that someone could find believable. All of this just to sabotage some saboteurs. Frank's mind is still befuddled. Greg's words sound like some foreign language. He has done good work for both Ted and the company as a whole. Greg's retiring, so Frank must be getting... At least Linda is actually quite nice to everyone else. The branch... If not... Nice to everyone, the branch, if not the whole tree. Linda has so many problems. Nice? She's been so hostile to Frank. Frank's blinded by friendship, a terrible curse in this business. Matthew is well-deserving. Who is Matthew? I have well-deserving as the actual line. Well-deserving, yep. Alright. Here. The only important people in... Wait. That's the wrong name. In Sumer are Linda, Rupert, Ted, Greg, and Frank. Is this a new hire? Wait, why is Greg talking about this nobody? Is Matthew going to be brown nosers, his assistant? Brown nosers are useful as tools. Matthew sounds like he'll be good. Until he needs replacing. Frank's going to sabotage some saboteurs. Lead Summer to a great and bright and steady future. Sabotage too. You have innate charisma, the ability to twist people around your finger, such as Ted and the others. You appear perfect, but no one is. That was the biggest flaw in your technique. Though your grandest personal flaw is that ego of yours, that unquestioning superiority you feel over every other creature on this planet. You've never given anyone credit for the work they've done. As such, you and your career are now in the doghouse. Frank does have an incredible charisma. People just fall before him, hoping to serve as a stepping stone. It's the natural, unquestioning superiority, order. The world is just programmed to bow fealty to Frank. Superiority is right. Greg gets it. The CEO understands perfectly in the doghouse what it's like. Marie? What about Marie? Does Greg know Marie? You could have learned something from that fiancée of yours. I've heard from Ted that she's been promoted to the assistant manager of Joe's Coffee. Apparently, she's been with Joe since he started out. No wonder she was promoted. I've also had some of his products. The man really knows how to make a wholesome cup of coffee. Something Starbucks just won't get. He's got a good business on him. Maybe I should make a deal to have his stuff in office. Want your fiancé's number? Marie isn't at the doghouse. They're home. She's at work. She's talking to Joe about this whole manager business and what a mistake it was. She's a good doggy, fixing her mess. That's why she didn't make the coffee, because she was in a rush. I'll get it from Joe. Your fiancée has quite the career ahead of her. While she's improving her life, you'll be scrambling for yours, in whatever country you end up in. Frank's mind is caught up, but is still very confused. The pieces start to fall into place. Greg said Linda was to be the CEO. That must be a mistake. He misheard. Although, even if it's true, Frank would then be the regional manager, with his assistant Matthew, who worked to get Real to notice us. What did he do? Isn't he a new hire? The gears grind. Cruel reality cackles in his ears. Matthew is going to be regional manager? He's not a new hire? Where's he been? Frank knows every manager. He's gone on close to the most important one, the head of negotiation. The one who can verify that Frank can make deals, persuade people to his side, anticipate his opposing parties' moves, all things that a manager needs, and all things that would impress higher management. All the things that a manager needs, and all the things. Office parties. He was there? Wait, Greg kept him away? Why? Can he not handle the success of those? Alright. Not handle the success of those not yet his career level? That's an awkward way of saying things, but that is the way he would do it. That's quite immature. Greg says this guy worked his butt off the other two criteria, so Greg had both Matthew and Frank working the same things. The same thing. This was a competition, and Matthew must have cheated. He's so fired when Frank gets the chance. Maybe a sexual harassment complaint? Yeah, he'll get worked on that as soon as he can. You see, I have connections across the country. I'll have you blacklisted from all the major companies in the U.S. I told them about you, and about the investigation that turned up some naughty things. Intentionally donating money to corrupt charities really pissed them off. Though, officially, it's the industrial spy thing that's a real problem. And the fact that you're so terrible at it. Whoever hired you must be either desperate or stupid. Either works for me. They get two very wrong criteria that have surely sunk their bid to real. Another tick of the gears, another cruel jaunt from this man. Joe's coffee for the office? You'll need to talk to Joe about that. Well, Marie now. She went behind Frank's back and became a manager. That bitch. Everything is done for her. To wound him like this. She thinks so little of him. She didn't even make his coffee this morning. Does she think she's a master? And he's the doggy? Puh, he'll set her straight. This time he'll freeze the newspaper. He'll need something stronger. And what's this about false information? Greg told Frank about the true criteria that anyone could guess but wouldn't commit to. They're so obvious. Who'd go for them? There's no way they were lies. Greg's trying to mess with Frank. That's all there is to this. He's trying to twist the knife after betraying him, just like Rip. Greg's an untrustworthy bastard. As a gifted spy, Frank can... Wait, he knew? Bullshit! He's picking that up like the rest of this. Frank did a beyond mortal job at subtly investigating Summer. More shit Greg's piling up. And blacklisted? Really? That's meaningless before someone of Frank's caliber. There are plenty out there who will still hire him. Those who want the darkest secrets of another company. Frank can do this job with his hands tied. Frank understands everything now. He gave his all to Rip and Summer. After delivering the goods, they cut him off. Does a promise mean nothing? Rip made an error, believing us lowly brother-in-law over an amazing spy. Summer is just dirty, using Frank for his full worth and then abandoning him. They're even trying to prevent him from working in the country. Isn't that tortious interference or something? This is definitely illegal in America, he's sure of it. Frank will join up with an actually prestigious company, take it over, and use it to smash both Summer and Rip to smithereens. Oh, that felt so good to finally get off my chest. You've been a good ear for my woes. Get out. Frank stands up, rigidly turns and opens the door and walks out. Greg calls to his secretary from the open door. Get Ted and his team in here. They needed a debrief, urgently. Frank pays no mind to this. Those people are useless to him now. No need to put on airs. The soccer was fun, but he doesn't need to make an impression on them anymore, especially not those fucking kids. Finally, he can be done with them. Frank walks out the doors of Summer, never to return, especially since the security team is back from leave. Scene 3. A coffee. At a complete loss, Frank wanders the streets. He spends a good hour just walking down the road, mindlessly crossing with the other drones. The smell of coffee wafts in his direction. This morning, he had to drink his own brew. That homely taste is missing. He walks into the shop, a familiar one. In his daze, he naturally wandered into Joe's Coffee. The place is sparse at the time of day, just 10:30 a.m. Much too early for lunch. Though, there is a regular here. Julie. He walks up to the counter and stands there silent. Hi, hon. Fancy seeing you here this time. Oh, you poor dear. I know it hurts. Let me get you something. God, how do I talk as her? Julie prepares one of her specialties, sans alcohol. She wouldn't dare give him any in his condition. She walks around to the front, takes Frank's hand, and leads him to the table. He sits gently, still quite out of it. A coffee now rests before him, a welcoming scent. A sip, then another, then a chug. Julie watches from across, and sympathetic look on her face. That's right. Let the miracle of coffee heal your wounds. It'll warm you up, give you that prep to keep going. Pep. I know it's rough. I've been there so many times. You think you know what's going on, that you're atop. The rug burns beneath your feet, and you're left in an empty room. The entire home is on fire. My world is crashing. There's nothing left of me. Everyone lies. Julie places both hands on Franc's, looking at him with sad, concerned eyes. I've never lied to you. Everything I've ever said has been the truth. You can trust me. I'm putting in a double shift today, so I'll be here as long as you need me. I'll stay longer, whatever you need, honey. And in my lord, what reward do you need, sweetie? I worked for years that summer, and they just abandoned me. I'd arranged for many contracts with us at advantage. I worked the crab night. I pitched the idea of capturing the crabs yourself. I brought up soccer in the park. That was my idea. Mine. I worked for Greg to the bone. He thinks he's gonna fire me? Me! Franc grips the coffee cup, spilling it out over the top. It sizzles his arm. Julie frantically grabs a handful of napkins, trying to wipe it off. Franc stands, raises his arm, and lobs the cup across the room, slamming against the window. Julie doesn't react to that. It is understandable for what Franc is going through. She stands and reaches for his coffee-covered arm, desperate to get the hot liquid off of him. Franc drops back to the seat and slams his fist into the table, face grimacing. Julie sits, still trying to help him. Franc pushes her napkins away, letting his arm burn. This is the bullshit I have to deal with. Betrayal. Greg will pay for this, I swear my very life. And Reptor will suffer for what they've done. I got them secrets, and they threw me to the gutter. Secrets? Yes, everybody knows apparently. Everybody knows apparently. I worked for Rep to get Summer's secrets so they can buy out Real. A job perfect for me. You're a spy? Amazing, is it not? I do not have James Bond's gadgets, but I do have my way with words. I have everyone fooled. Everyone. Now they cut me loose. Worse yet, Greg claims to have cut on, but kept me around to use me. Me, how dare he think so little of me? He never realized my true job. He's making this all up, to make himself feel better about ditching the best employee he has. He says you're a spy? I am a spy, a perfect one. I ensured Real's rise to success. Rep's rise to success. They fired me this morning. They think the information I passed to them was wrong. I'll have my vengeance, that much is absurd. Greg's blacklisting of me in this country will not stop this. Most will go down in flames, searing flames, like hot coffee. Speaking of which, I seem to have dropped mine. Alright, I have to check something, because I'm mixing up RP and RL. Okay, looks like that's okay. Quickly go through all this. RP, RP, that's fine. Zoomer, RP. Suck their bid to RL. Did I screw this up anywhere else? Because searching is not going to do anything, it's just going to give me a bunch of words with RL and RP next to them. It looks like I am actually set to go. Yep, I don't see any more on there. So let's just check the coffee days. Zoomer, Real. Okay, so it's all good. Okay, we are here. There. Franc stands again and goes behind the register. He starts messing with the equipment. Julie doesn't immediately follow, stunned at these revelations. The spy is kind of hot, but he's not acting normal. Was his demeanor up to this point a lie too? No, that can't be right. He's just having a very, very bad day. Julie settles herself and enjoys Franc, who's making a bit of a mess. Honey, yeah, I'll make whatever you want. Make the stuff Millie does. Where even is she? Honey, you know she was promoted. It came up at the party, remember? Yes, I remember that shit show quite well. You didn't know the time. I see. It must have been quite a surprise. I know how she makes her blend. You can sit back. I will make it. I remember how she does it. And also here, a bit of sugar. Honey, that's not your... Psst, I said I know. Franc delivers this point blank to Julie's face. Enough of a shock to send her stumbling back. Her body trembles, tears forming. She has to hold on to the counter for support. Franc must be really in a dire state to change this much, she thinks. She lets him do his thing. After 6 minutes of work, he finishes. What he's made is not something Julie has ever seen. Has he ever watched Marie? Why doesn't he know? Franc takes a swig, immediately spews it out. The mug shatters on the ceiling, drizzling the concoction to the floor. Where is Marie? Where is my wife? This is her fucking job. She's with Joe. Manager stuff? Why is she with Joel? She came in to quit that job. She should be here, where she always was. Where she should always be. Dear, sweetie, honey bun. She's not quitting. She loves being a manager. She went in Joe's office to do an important thing. She's not going to be here anymore. I can be used to you. The shop is doomed to fail. But no matter, I'll see her at home anyway. She'll make her usual and we'll be happy. We'll have to move, but she'll love wherever we go, wherever I go. Honey, you don't know what? Oh my God. Julie's trembling hits a climax, nearly a level of a seizure. Not a worry for Franc, but not anymore. This is a pure and utter fear for herself. Julie is quite attentive to people. Franc has been waving red flags since he started talking, but Julie shrugged it off, thinking it was just incredible stress. Franc's never shown anger, especially not violence. Anger he'd have for certain. Who doesn't? Throwing a cup of coffee across a room? Sure. But to sit there and take the burns? He talked about being a spy, getting fired from both his true employers and his job here. That his boss saw through him, used him to sabotage the other company. Is Franc the type of man to be a spy? To ruin another company for his own gain? That's probably just business, but does that match the man she knows? It doesn't. Not at all. Was it all a lie then? He's been yelling at Julie and violent around her, and now there's a shattered mug and coffee embedded in the ceiling. He's just letting it all go in front of her, as though she's barely there. She remembers the party. He was drunk, very upset that Marie was promoted. Julie thought a little of it at the time, that he was the last to find out. Clearly that's not the case. He seems to think of Marie as his property, that she'll love wherever they are as long as she's with him. Julie knows that Marie would not readily leave the city, the state, the country. She has this need to be near her mom. It would be a hard-fought argument. Have they ever argued? Marie just lets Franc do his thing. She used to be much more defensive, but now she just recedes back. Seems to just recede back. Has Franc done something to her? His mindset, behavior, this is a true Franc, isn't it? This angry man. This self-absorbed man. He doesn't even know how she makes her blend. Does he truly know anything about her, about other people? Is that why she left? A man who can't see anyone but himself? These thoughts have been in the back of Julie's head since the first coffee throw. These last after the second. After the second lob. Now merged with the ceiling. Now Julie learns that Franc doesn't even know about Marie leaving, and the man is very, very angry. His eyes now gaze upon her. Her instincts kick in. She has to leave. She has to be away from this man, this doppelganger. Her body is still shaking, uncontrollably so. She attempts to make for the exit, but can't move. Franc walks right up beside her, leaning his face down next to hers. Mere inches apart, he continues. Don't know what. Julie can't speak. The fear is too great. Franc is not remotely patient at this point. You will tell me now. Julie streams tears, eyes squinting, face scrunching. Her face reddens. Reddening. I should do that. Her eyes lock onto his. They can't escape. She can't escape. Her mind is blank, frozen in these moments. Only the unutterable terror remains. Not going to speak? Then let's see if we can wake you up a bit, shall we? Franc grabs Julie by the waist, dragging her over to the coffee machine. The woman tries to fight back, her body partially responding. Her arms nearly lifelessly swat around, but barely move a few inches. Barely moving a few inches. The rest is dead weight. Franc holds her by the machine. He turns it on, letting the boiling coffee spurt out onto the floor. You know, this hurt quite a bit earlier. That was coffee exposed to the air. Cooler. This is the source, the hottest. I see it goes up quite high. Have you experienced the maximum? Franc cranks it to the max. The coffee continues to pour out, steam bursting forth. I think this will be quite painful. Permanent scarring and perhaps death outright. Nothing compared to hell, but you'll have an interesting story to tell them when you get there. Franc turns off the spigot, but doesn't reset the machine. Julie's strength returns somewhat, knowing what he has planned. She struggles with great vigor. Arms flail, hands bat at Franc, legs attempt to push away. However, Franc is built, just like any American cowboy. He is a stallion, unmoved and unharmed. He bends her backwards, forcing her head beneath the spigot. Julie stares up the barrel that will end her existence. Her body is unable to fight off this monster. Instead, her brain gets to work, firing at full throttle. Franc, finally she's able to speak. It alternates between screaming, stuttering, and panic, sometimes in combination. She left. I heard from a friend. She's not coming back. Franc's hand grips Julie's head, pressuring her skull. It hurts, but that is of little importance in this situation. Her eyes light a fire, melting. His eyes light a fire, melting away at Julie. The donkey is not that stupid. It is true. She moved out. There are things little by little. She wouldn't notice. I didn't notice if my things were missing. I didn't notice my things were missing. Then maybe she didn't take much. Her clothes, I guess. That is certainly possible. I have no use for her clothes, but she has no reason to leave. Not after our most recent discussion. Julie is in utmost fear as to what that means. No wonder Marie left. This thing is a danger to all life on Earth. She can't imagine the terrors that Marie has experienced. She's incredibly strong to have stood Franc for so long. So he has no reason to leave, so they're lying. There's a text. Julie fumbles with one arm to her pocket, retrieving the phone. Franc takes it with his free hand. Passcode? 90254. It's from Carly. Let's see. Kylie's text. Franc's now on the market and vulnerable, might I add. Marie's moved out. She's keeping a secret, but now's your chance. She moved out. Moved out. Fuck! Franc lifts up his arms, both the phone and Julie. Julie's head is smashed into the coffee machine, and her body dropped to the floor. Her ear takes the brunt of it, nearly ripping off. Blood spilling onto the floor. Her phone is thrown into the wall, shattering. Franc. I should do this first. Her phone first, then the whole head-smashing thing. Franc walks out from behind the counter, stepping on Julie's back and legs as like they were trash. She thinks she can build this to me after everything I've done for her. We'll see about this moving out business. Franc shoves the doors open and exits. Julie is left there, unmoving and bleeding. As her consciousness fades, the fear releasing. The fear releases. Her last thoughts are of Marie, hoping her friend is safe. Scene 4. Moved out? Franc takes the bus home. Marie's car is gone, but it wasn't there in the morning. So, she did go to work. Once inside, he inspects everything. It takes about an hour, but he finds nothing out of place. All of his things are there. All of her things are in their places. Kylie's a lying bitch, nothing more. It's been a long day. He needs some coffee. Franc heads into the kitchen to make something good. He passes by debris of some sort, probably Marie's doing. Some debris against the wall. Probably Marie's doing. She should know better than to leave a mess behind. He continues on to the coffee machine, pours the mix in, and grabs for his mug. Swoosh! It's not in its usual spot. Huh, he used it this morning. It's his usual cup. Well, Marie didn't clean up wherever that is against the wall, so he'll just use hers. That mess against the wall. He'll just use hers. He grabs for it. Whoosh! Again? Where is her mug? Frank starts to search for the missing coffee mugs. The sink? Nope. Dishwasher? Nope. Cabinets? Nope. Was it left behind somewhere? Was it left behind something? No. Was it left somewhere? Maybe downstairs? Ah, yes. He was down there. He was down there for a bit earlier. Let's see, were they? Downstairs, Frank searches tables, turns over pillows. Nothing. He looks into the plastic fruit bowl, one of Marie's souvenirs from a school trip. It was from somewhere he can't remember. He does remember she was worried about it falling over and breaking the glass. Glass? This is plastic. Marie's such an idiot she can't tell the difference. He pulls some stuff down from a shelf. Nothing amongst his things, but perhaps Marie's. He grabs a plushie of a penguin, another childhood memento. Huh, it's in really good condition, almost brand new. Her mom really took care of it. He tosses it away, going now for an old art project, a papier-mâché face of a president. This one is of George Bush Jr., the most recent president. Not that Frank has paid attention to politics, but once again, Marie made a mistake. He wasn't in charge when she was a kid, nowhere near. Her teachers are terrible. This, too, is tossed aside, breaking apart on the floor. Where are those mugs? Maybe the closet? The closet? Let's see, inside are all the wrong clothes and rain jackets. He gets on his knees and heads into the back, scraping his neck against some strands. Looking up, he sees some very unkempt jackets and sweaters. They even have holes. He bought her some new clothes months ago. Why are they already tattered? That woman. Another lesson to be learned, he guesses. Finishing up here, he heads upstairs. Mugs still nowhere to be found. The bedroom is the last place. Maybe in the study? Not her mug, of course. Well, whatever. Her missing mug is her problem anyway. The nightstand and bathroom have nothing obvious. Maybe the drawers? The stand is... Ah, okay. Alright. Nothing here. Alright, how to fix this now? The bedroom comes after this. His mug. And certainly her is going to be here. Alright, let's get rid of that. So maybe in the study. Not his bug, and certainly hers wouldn't... Bug. Certainly hers wouldn't be here. Well, her mug is her problem anyway. The bedroom is the last place. Nightstand and bathroom have nothing obvious. Maybe the doors? His stand is clear. The bathroom too. Obvious. His nightstand and bathroom have nothing serious. He B's and Rees for sake of argument. Alright, do this. Bathroom and his nightstand have nothing obvious. He peeks into Marie's with the argument, finding just her magazines. Then the dresser. Why not? His, everything is accounted for. Hers, why his mug would be there is anyone's guess, but it's worth a check. He's already turned the house upside down. He places his fingers around the knob. Tick, click. He pauses. A few seconds pass. Ka-tunk. Was that the front door? Scene 5. One last time. It's 1 o'clock. Marie is basking in her new home. Kevin had to head back to the work briefly, but she'll be fine on her own. A new start, a life without Franc. Marie constantly beams of style. She unpacks the last of her things, putting them somewhere good. The bust of Reagan can go over here. Her favorite teddy bear is going right on her side of the bed. Maybe wash it first, just to get any hint of Franc out. April would approve, but she's sleeping in for the day. Marie is sure to be quiet not to wake her. To be quiet, to not wake her. The glass bowl from her mallet trip, apparently, is from a trip, apparently to learn about commerce. The bowl will go on the counter, right in the middle where it won't topple over. It sits beside Kevin's phone, that forgetful lunk. Well, he's had the best news of his life today, so forgive him this one time. The last thing to set is her preschool finger painting. It's been there in the closet since she moved with Franc. Now it can be prominently displayed, so all can see her amazing artwork. She could have gone pro, but decided towards a more humble career. A place picked out, she reaches in and... Where is it? Marie distinctly remembers taking it out from the bedroom closet. She put it next to the bed, then went downstairs, pondered over this last time she'd be here, walked out into the car. Shit. It's still by the bed. It's one of her favorite childhood possessions. She can't just leave it. Franc will probably set it on fire. She has to go back. One last time. Without a thought, she immediately heads out. There should be plenty of time before Franc comes back from work. He's being fired today, but that'll be at the end of the shift, after Greg's gotten a little bit more work out of him. It's okay. Just calm yourself, she thinks. Marie gets back fairly quickly, maybe 15 minutes. She hasn't thrown away the key yet. Good. She opens the door and heads in. She's so focused on getting in and out, she doesn't notice the little mess in the common area, especially not her fake things thrown onto the floor. They jog up some stairs, she trots by the coffee machine, taking no notice of it being on. This place is so far gone from reality, so she doesn't register a thing. Up the last flight to the bedroom. She struts inside and sees her painting. Safe and sound beside the bed, a sigh of relief. Slam! She jumps and turns, her face immediately paling. So, you are back from luck. Did it take a while to convince you? Marie's eyes widen to their full brim, locking onto Franc. Silence. You know, my favorite mug is missing. So is yours, in fact. I searched everywhere. Your clothes downstairs are quite ragged. What have you been doing to them? Marie, strengthened by Kevin's love, puts on an act. She just needs long enough to get out of here. Hey, yes, I'm just not good with clothes. I was so happy when you bought me some new ones. Those were the new ones. Yes, I know. I have not treated them well. When we're married, you can teach me everything about keeping clothing in good condition, like yours. I would be happy to teach you. Until then, no more new clothes, okay? Okay, if you say so, sweetie. You've improved in attitude. Last night was a good session, yes? Absolutely. It wasn't last night. Last weekend. Last weekend was a good session, yes? Absolutely. It set me straight. My rules to be here, with you. Nothing could make me happier. Good. I was willing to give you more lessons, but as long as you've learned. That's a super. I live to serve master. Oh, right, your morning coffee. I was in such a rush to tell Joe everything. I was too weak to tell him immediately. It took a while. Now I'm free to make your special brew whenever you want. That is fabulous to hear. Of everything that's happened to me today, this is truly a silver lining. I would love some of your coffee. Then I'll make you lots. Marie turns away, heading for the door. Franc says nothing. Good, she thinks, good. Ah, but you'll need the mug. It's probably right. Frank opens the dresser drawer. Marie heart sinks. Panic sets in. She walks very quickly to the door. Gets her hand on the knob. Slam! The dresser door shuts. A thick footstep behind her. She throws open the door, getting part way through the threshold. In quick order, several steps rush behind her, grabbing her shoulder. Marie tries to fight this off, but it's no use. Frank has an iron grip and pulls her back in, shutting the door behind. He holds her close, looking her up and down. Where did my sweet little donkey go? She's right here. No, what I see is a mutt. A raggedy mutt who decided to run away. That's not quite a doggy. Matter is speaking. Frank throws Marie to the ground with great force. She slams onto the carpet, hitting her head. In a daze, Marie lies there, barely hearing what Frank has to say. Not that she needs to. You know, I heard from Julie that you had up and left. It seems your circular friends are well aware. Not me, of course, but that is not unusual, yes? You leave me behind after getting your fill. You're no different from Greg. Greg? I was fired today. In fact, he mentioned you. You knew his plan, didn't you? Yes, that's why you chose today to move out. It makes so much sense. You leave me the same day my employer betrays my hard work. What hurts most is your betrayal. A betrayal of feelings. No need to say anything. We have plenty of time to discuss this. First, though, we need to properly prepare. Frank leaves the room. Marie tries to sit up, but the landing still stings. She's stunned, in no shape to move anywhere. Quickly, her mind races to find a way out. Her phone. She fumbles around and brings it out. Her fingers shake, failing to enter the passcode. She hears a movement down below. Time's running out. It takes 5 tries, but she gets the code in, moving to text messages. Her message is fraught with errors and autocorrects. It's supposed to say, Frank has me, come quick. Instead it reads, France has meat, cool beans. She doesn't have time to fix it, as thudding steps approach. She hits the sleep button, and puts the phone back in her pocket. The door swings open, and her master arrives. He's holding a rigid newspaper, a rope, and a collar. Marie can barely move, so is unable to fight off Frank. He forces on the collar and ties it to the leg of the bed. The man then sits in his usual chair, something Marie brought with her when she moved in. He took a liking to it, so she was never allowed to use it again. Now he relaxes there, paper resting on his lap. Doggy has been quite naughty. Master provides a home, clothing, food. Everything a doggy could want. Master has been very, very generous to Doggy. Doggy repays by betrayal. Frank stands, walking to Marie, paper in hand. He gets on his haunches and looks at his doggy. Master has much work to do, much to repair in this broken mutt. But fret not, for Master is very patient, and will help Doggy be good doggy. Frank raises the paper and brings it down. A red mark on... Actually... How well does these come up? Oh, that did a lot. Alright then. A red mark on Marie's cheek, but she does not cry this time. She's had enough. Kevin will come shortly. Together they'll defeat the devil before them. Marie looks up at Frank and speaks before giving permission. I never really loved you. I love the performance you put on, but not you. You are a stain on this planet, like the devils you cherish so much. You are not fit to be a manager, not with your attitude, and not with the way you treat people. Doggy thinks she can reason with that master. Another foolish act. Who has given you these blasphemous ideas? Was it Jewel? And yes, I am a devil. You seem to understand some things. We're all going to hell. You'll be the one I stand on. You'll be down in the pits with us, getting tortured by both the worshippers and the wippies. Misery loves company, right? I have never been miserable. Only today, when fired from 2 jobs and learning that you were to leave me. I suppose Kylie was not a lying bitch, but Julie should have said something beforehand. For what? Before she made the journey ahead of us. Shame I didn't scar her to death, but a cracked head should do the job just fine. You monster! No, you were right the first time. D-E-V-I-L. I am no abominable snowman or monster in a lake. I am a true creature of evil. the best on this side of the plane. You will be my doggy, forever and ever. Every master needs a doggy. You show no appreciation for the honor you've been given. Going full asshole mode. No, did have to be so foolish. Do not consider other people's feelings. This is why you're double spy. I saw 3 minutes before I told him. That's right, I went to your study and found everything on your computer. It's beyond pathetic. Then what goes into the forbidden land? I see. No matter what's done is done. But I must say, your rebellious streak is growing. Joe couldn't have lit this fire, and not your pussy of a mother. April, likely. I believe she still lives, which means Craig didn't obey my last command. Pity, you'll have to go too. Thoughts too who need my direct attention. Craig and April. Had he just given her 4 ounces, this would have been handled. April's stronger than me. Did you take a knife to Craig? Thought she did. It wasn't strong enough to end you myself. I did run, but to where I'd be safest. To your mother, no doubt, in the home I'm paying for. The home I'm paying for. Had I not caught you, those payments would have defaulted, bringing your mother to a great death third time. I could pay it off with my new job as manager. That was the hardest one yet. Actually, she's floored, bleeding from the mouth. She said just about all she wanted. Now it's just time for Kevin to come in and save the day. She nearly drifts off. Alright. Not caught you, I would have stopped paying, defaulting the checks, and bringing your dear mother a great debt a third time. Alright. Franc reaches out. Hold on. You're no longer manager. I'll do this myself. Franc reaches in Marie's pocket, grabbing her phone. He flicks it on. It was never shut off, so no passcode is needed. He reads into her texts, looking for one mentioning Joe. He stops abruptly, letting out a long, pained sigh. I didn't realize it was this bad. You've completely left me, and for someone who was quick to turn tailor for someone else. Quite a bit of messages you two have been exchanging. This goes back months. An affair, you cheating little scoundrel. Is this where your courage comes from? Shame. I see now I cannot bring you back to me. You were lost forever. But there is still hope. Just not over here. Franc drops the phone, leaving Marie. She can barely think, still waiting for Kevin's arrival. A fear creeps in, more so than before. Franc would have seen the last text. Even he must know what it was meant to say. Hurry, Kevin. Hurry. Scene 6. Hell hath no fury. Marie slips in and out. The pain and swelling keeping her... swelling, waking her frequently. She rouses with a warm feeling beneath her. It's not the blood, that's stopped and dried. The carpet feels a little warm, the air itself a bit humid. Warm. Bit humid, smell of smoke. I use warm twice, I don't like that. Time to look up synonyms. Use hot instead for warm. I guess there's not really one I can use, is there? A little hot. Franc is sitting in his chair. People are on the floor. He just watches her, smiling. He watches her, waiting. Ah, you woke up too early. Well, perhaps this is for the best. You get a pretty view of the flames before I trip. Smoke seeps from under the door. Marie goes into a panic, fighting against her restraints, desperately trying to untie the rope. That will do you no good. I am well versed in tying knots, just like a cowboy, eh?
You
won't get away with this. Dog dear, don't worry. We'll both burn up. We'll both burn up. We'll be making that journey together, as soulmates. Don't soulmate meet. Me, I love Kevin, always have. I gave up too soon after his affair. I should have stayed. We could have worked it out. He was drunk. It was an easy mistake. Drunk or sober, he went for another woman. The one who looked like me? An exact duplicate. He can try all sorts of bad things all over again. He must have felt really lucky. He's more of a man you ever were. Devil. I'm a devil. No mere monkey crawling around looking for smart flutes. I aim for the world, but have decided to leave this one early. That's good. We'll get to have a good start. Oh! April will show up in the coming years, once she ODs on something else. I can teach her too. Marie tires trying to free herself. The knot is just too strong. Her strength waning, her thoughts go to April, her closest friend. She should have told her everything, been free of all this. Maybe April would have stopped the drugs too. They'd be soul sisters, both free from the grasp of evil. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Oh, what is that sound? Nothing should be falling yet. Thunk. Curious. What is that? Franc goes to the door and listens. Thunk. He opens it, pondering as to what's causing that sound. The moment the doors open, slam! It bursts open, and with enough force to knock him down. April has arrived, wielding another kitchen knife. Seeing Franc down and her soul sister tied up, she rushes in. Marie lies there, stunned. I got your text. Come right over. Prepared. April. Marie is overwhelmed with emotion. She flashes back to that night with Craig. Back when Marie came to save April. Now their positions reversed. April tries to cut the rope, but her broken wrist only lends her one hand. She tries to saw it while Marie pulls a taut. April makes it most of the way through when reality strikes. A foot slams onto her spine. She lurches forward and onto Marie's back, the knife nearly cutting her friend. Franc stands before them, quick to get up from the hit. His arms are crossed, just looking down on these two women. Tisk, 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 that was not advised. Though I would be happy to be the one to bring you over. You caused me a lot of problems. You're a coward and a shit. A coward wouldn't set fire to his own home, taking him and his wife, ex-doggy. Wonderful human being, disobedient, but the best friend one can hope for. I see we're getting nowhere. Fear not, I will gladly whip you for thousands of years to drive this point in. April looks at Marie and exchange knowing glances. Marie had no right telling April she could come clean to her. No right telling April she could come clean. Marie had no right telling April that she could come clean to her about the drugs. Marie never told anyone about the true Franc. April went to solve things herself and nearly died. Marie came here on her own and will now certainly die. April got Marie mixed up with the business with Craig. In that business with Craig, that horrible night. Now, Marie has done the same to April. They're both screw-ups, both wasted their second chance. Now there's just them, Franc and the fire. Franc leers down with the two of them. A bad doggy and a stray, both needing a lot of training. You'll have to be rough at first, but they'll catch on quickly. Marie didn't learn fast, but 4 months is a drop in the bucket compared to a millennium. Give the whip some slack and bang! The deafening roar echoes across the room. Boom! Something hits the floor, near the door. Everyone looks except Franc, who has stumbled over and into Marie's nightstand. He cries out, Fuck! The fuck was that? You fucking dead! Franc struggles to stand, blood oozing from his side. April and Marie lock their eyes to the hallway, where a shaking Kevin stands and a gun lights his feet. Kevin! Kevin snaps back to attention from the sickening feeling of shooting someone. He runs in, hugging them both. They've been saved from an evil man. Franc saved Marie in her darkest hour, but was only grooming her into a prized pup. This day she held out for a hero to have come. The reunion aside, the house is burning down. April is quick to react, continuing to cut the rope. Marie just holds on to Kevin and him to her. A valiant angel to save them from this hell. It takes only another 8 seconds for April to cut the rope free, leaving just a 2-foot-long leash. She pushes her body to April, trying to get her to stand. Kevin helps her up, holding her about the shoulder. The three rush for the door. Slam! The lamp strikes April in the back of the head. She stumbles to the ground, avoiding the head-first landing. Franc is up again, walking towards her. Marie pushes Kevin away, kneeling before her friend, trying to lift her up. Kevin goes to intercept Franc. Kneels before her friend. Alright, Franc feints a body blow, then falls up with a haymaker. Kevin falls for the feint, but manages to duck down out of most of the strike, just a nick to his ear. He tackles Franc into the wall, kneeling into him over and over. Franc, weakened from the bullet, has trouble fighting off Kevin. Kevin, too, is built and running off adrenaline to save his love and friend. The blows continue, worsening Franc's injury. The cowboy manages to get a neck hold on Kevin, forcing him back a bit and then shoving him off. The two stand before each other. Kevin, I have April. We have each other. Let's go. The two hold each other and dash out. Kevin immediately turns and joins. They quickly, but not recklessly, go down the steps, keeping their heads low, trying to avoid the smoke. Through the kitchen they go, where they see the start of the fire, the coffee machine along with ignitables. Just the coffee machine. Stumble, thunk, a crash behind them. They turn to see Franc at the foot of the stairs. He jumped down the entire flight. That's not all. His hand is the gun. He smiles as he aims for them, not at anyone in particular. Kevin moves in position in front of April and Marie. All three close their eyes. This is where you die. Click, nothing. Click, nothing again. Stumbling and then a thud against the wall. Who only loads one bullet? Who only loads one bullet? Kevin, a hater of guns, could only manage to load one bullet. He was too fearful of having anything any more. He and his companions opened their eyes to see Franc standing, having just thrown the gun away. They turn in unison and continue their flight. The fear of death by gunshot has cost them time that Franc has used to regain some strength. He surges forward, completely ignoring Kevin's bullet in his side. His hand reaches out and grabs the bit of leash around Marie's neck. He tugs hard, pulling her towards him. Kevin turns and grabs the collar, pulling her away a tad, just a foot. Franc and he have a tug-of-war on Marie. She is mine. A mere mortal has to break her. Franc staggers back. He looks down at the sizable knife in his chest, then back up to see April standing between him and Marie, her hand outstretched. She had managed to get in there while Franc's attention was on Kevin. Her knife finally hit its mark. April turns, pushing on the stairs. They run down. Pushing on the others. They run down the stairs. Stump, stump, stump. Franc shambles behind them. Yeah, after it's fine. No, do behind. Even with a bullet and a huge knife, he still yet persists. They reach the door and hear another crash as Kevin jumps down the stairs again. This time, he doesn't get up, not with 2 broken ankles. The fire is now raging, encompassing the stairs and Franc. You betrayed me. You all betrayed me. April flings the door open. She's the first out. Kevin carries Marie to the threshold, but she stops, turning back to the wretched being. Since I got the better of you, you wannabe devil, in a man's skin, I'll enjoy my position in hell, in a lovely mansion. I'll watch from the windows as miscreants are run over the coals, burning for eternity. If I happen to learn about you, I'll recommend one of the best trainers to teach you, as you taught me. Marie turns away, following Kevin out. The house continues to burn. Franc screams inside. One could ponder if this was out of anger or pain. It doesn't matter. Fire crews arrive to keep the flame from spreading, but unfortunately they're too late to save the sorry soul within. Alright, some of these are missing double spaces, so I'm just going to deal with that real quick. All the scenes are double spaced. That's Franc's bad day. Then I think the coffee is the next one, and that's also double spaced. Good. Alright, part 10. Epilogue. Scene 1. April moves out. 2 weeks have passed since Franc's demise. April has recovered from her mental addiction and the wrist injury. She's in fine shape to work in her office proper, rather than through a laptop. Her bosses never learn about the whole mess, fortunately. She'll struggle without the assistant substances, but she'll manage. But we'll manage. It's time for her to move out, but not to her old place. Returning there would bring back memories of the drugs. Instead, she's moving into a newer, bigger place with Bea. Boxes litter Kevin's home. April had a lot of things over here. Bea is helping, as a future roommate should. Kevin, Marie, April, and Bea all work to pack April's things and drive them over. The house is full of rustling and chatter. There's much work left to do, but they're having a good time. Are you sure you don't want to stay longer? I love having my friends stay over, no matter how long they need. Thanks, but I need a break. From what? All the earthquakes. They keep waking me up at night. April, we're not so subtle. Give me some credit here. A meteor strike is more accurate. It's more like it. Kevin! More like a cluster of meteors. That was a lot of shake. No, it wasn't. We are normal. Yeah, huh? Are you saying I don't perform to your expectations? No, I'm not. I'm saying... Never mind. April, you're welcome back any time. In the morning, preferably. Or afternoon. Definitely not on... Enough! Let's just drop this subject. Okay. I'll leave it be. For now. Forever. We'll see. Anyway, back to business. Shall I pick up some utensils for you? I'll buy my own. You can borrow anything you want. Just be sure to return the things you take this time. Looks to Kevin. I'll pay you back. I know you're good for it, but you don't have to. Just being safe in the drug world is all I care about. You're still getting a check in the mail. Can you even afford it? With my salary? Please. It's been a few weeks and I can already budget for an apartment. And no more drugs. I sworn off the stuff after the Midnight Cowboy business. Besides, Bea will keep me straight. Can you stop calling him that? It's too much of a good name. Oh, it's an official name. That's what the media is calling him. How do they know? A sting brought in some of his dealers. They talked about the Midnight Cowboy. He was very secretive and careful. He always had a good supply, but was someone to be feared. That cowboy talk in his presence really scared them. Not that I care, they're all shits anyway. Kevin and Marie exchange word looks. Oh, they don't know who he is. It seems Kevin was the only one who ever bothered following him. So it's not like they can connect him to anything. The drugs burn up the fire. He won't be dragged through the media schools. Not like Julie, poor thing, being plastered on a news article. How is she? I haven't been in to see her for a few days. She's doing fine, hemming up the hospital like a soap opera. The nurse is getting caught up in her storm. I hope they brought protection. It's a hospital. I'm sure they have some. Not that, Kevin. You sure? Well, I'm sure she's just playing around. Her doctor's spitting. Really? Well, good for her, I guess. I hope he likes drinks. What doctor doesn't? Really livens up a surgery. Julie needs a win after all that. Bad taste in men. We all fell for it. The doctor's probably fine. He doesn't need both kidneys. Oh, wait. He'll have his work cut out for him, but he seems to like the strong type, and innuendo. Then she's finally had some good luck. We all have. After the dark times comes the light. That fortune was spot on. Shame you misunderstood it. Repeatedly. Hey, fortunes are interpretive. Like my winning numbers. Those are typos, clearly. They'll come in handy eventually. Maybe they're dates for our best memories. Oh, please. Every day with me is the best. You're lucky I came downstairs. If I hadn't seen that text, Marie wouldn't be here. In fact, if you just remembered your phone, while your head was all in the clouds, you'd have gotten the message. She could have been saved sooner. That was a big oopsie on my part. I have vowed to never be separated again. Pulls out phone. You better. Slight shoulder slam. I would have called April too. I'd be on the scene first, take out Franc, make up for him using a little gun. That would shake anyone. And I recovered, didn't I? Franc was still down, after all. It worked out, as Chelsea predicted. Oh, you are not hiding behind her. She was right, as you said. That was all preordained. With a magic 8-ball. April, she's a true seer. No one would use something like that. Uh-huh. All signs point to that was a coincidence. I'm with Marie. Her prediction was too uncanny. Marie went through a dark time. Franc. Then came upon a field of flowers. Are you the Flower King? Only to one woman. Where's my crown? It'll be in the mail after we pay off your mom's house. The mail? What if it gets lost? I'll be placing it in the box myself. Just be sure your finger is ready. My thingy can handle anything, and is ready for a hula hoop. Scene 2. Sean and Kayla. The front door is left open, to allow an easy in and out. No one was expecting more company. A man and woman walk up and knock. The woman is a stranger, but Marie recognizes the man. He bows slightly, with a sympathetic face. He introduces himself as Sean, and the woman announces herself as Kayla. Just wanted to offer condolences. Yes, Franc was a real bastard. Really pulled one over on us. Craig told us everything. Industrial spy of all things. And all the time we spent together was a farce. I suppose I should be happy he died in a fire. Shame. They wanted to give some parting words. Was it painful? Absolutely. Then at least he paid for his crimes. In a fitting way. Fitting? He was obsessed with hell, a real devil in man's clothing. But this is not my tale to tell. I'll leave this to you two. Bea's gonna need some help upstairs. April nods to the two newcomers and heads up. Let's sit down. You are kind enough to drop by and offer a word. Least we can do is explain some things. The four take seats on the couches. Couple sitting together. So, Franc was more than he let on, in many ways. So, not just a spy. Kayla looks between Marie and Kevin, noting their atmosphere. She's quick to figure things out. Was he abusive? I mean, you're with another man right now. And you two are clearly together. I figured the love between you and Franc wasn't too deep. Likely there was a rift someplace. Yes, he would hit me. Oh, Christ, that's right. The party, the doggy business. Yeah, that wasn't a role play. It was literal. Doggy? That sick little shit. I can only imagine. I won't ask for the details. I'm so sorry we didn't see through him. He was too good at this game. We all regret how easily he stuck in. I figured out that little secret. Oh, that's Kevin. We all regret how easily he snuck in. I figured out that little secret quickly, but couldn't do anything but be there for Marie as a friend. I would call her at work, and we'd talk during the slow hours. It was like reaching into a pit of despair and shining a beacon. And I'm thankful. If you weren't there, I would become Franc's trophy, as he called me. I can't imagine how many others he's harmed. Well, he did nearly kill me, and April, and Kevin, and Julie. Sean and Kayla's faces pale in shock, mouths agape. Oh my God! How much of a monster have you been hanging out with? Franc attacked Julie at work. He learned through her that I left him. She was smashed into a coffee machine and rendered unconscious. Fortunately, a customer came in and found her. She's been in the hospital since, recovering. And making progress on her doctor. A go-getter, and after such a traumatic event. She must be a positive person. She is. A dear, if a bit free-spirited. I've been watching the news and checking online. I haven't seen anything about Franc attacking her. I guess she doesn't want to deal with it anymore, especially given he's dead. That's right, she's leaving him behind, as we all have. So, I'm just a little curious. Was the fire how he nearly killed you all? He didn't take my rebellion too well. He set the home on blaze and planned to take me with him. That's when April and Kevin showed up and saved me. Franc gave chase, but we fended him off. He jumped down a flight of stairs and broke his ankles.
along with his other injuries, he wasn't going to get us.
Oh, I am so glad you're all okay. When I first heard about this from Sean, I was shocked. When he said he was going to drop by to show his support, I decided to come too. If you ever need anything, I'd love to help.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
How did you find us? I doubt Frank ever mentioned where he lived. At the engagement party, we all heard about Marie's promotion. I called up Joe's coffee and explained the situation. He told me your address and said to give you a good word from him. Joe's always been such a sweet man.
He is.
A few moments pass, then 10 seconds. Did his spying ruin your company? Oh no, Gray caught wind of the scheme. Apparently he's been investigating Frank for a while. Kevin and Marie exchanged knowing glances. What?
It's nothing. Please continue.
Right, well, it seems Greg was pulling Frank's leg. Everything Frank passed on to his employers was a lie. Greg reverse sabotaged them. Greg put in the bid to Robot's life, and we were immediately accepted. He's now retiring, leaving the company to his right-hand woman. That's a relief.
How's the others?
They're a bit broken up. Dominic's demeanor has calmed. He's heading over to the UK branch. Ted's staying. Of course, so am I. Looks to Kayla. The horrible mess has left a mark on us all. I didn't know the man, but could see how much Sean idolized him. It hurts to see him downtrodden. Fortunately, he won't be losing any more friends. They're going to stay in touch, and I think play more soccer. Ted and I are going to become coaches, to bring our love to others. It may have been awakened by a devil, but that doesn't mean we can't still enjoy it. The one good thing he's done his entire life. I'd like to try soccer. Well then, you'll be my first student.
I could drop by as well, along with some friends.
I think I can handle 2 groups. Oh, right. Also, we told the kids that Frank moved away. That he was needed elsewhere. It hurt me to give him any amount of legacy, but he already influenced the kids for the better. I didn't want to ruin things for them. And it's a very kind gesture, a real family man kind of thing. You know me. Another pause. This one just 5 seconds. Well, that was it. I congratulate you on finding your true love.
I have a truth in feeling.
Kayla holds on to Sean, who blushes and takes her hand. The two stand, saying their goodbyes. They head out the door. It's now just Kevin and Marie in the common area. Scene 3. A New Fortune.
It'll be quiet without April.
We'll have to make up for that.
Oh, please, not this again.
I was thinking some smaller sounds.
Oh, well, we'll have time for that later. Maybe in a couple of years.
Once your mom's place is paid off and we can save up.
Sounds like a plan.
The lovers hold on to each other. Eyes closed, just breathing, reminiscing, and planning for the future. You know, we've got quite the destiny ahead of us.
How would you know?
I did go to Carnival.
Chelsea?
Not quite. I visited a Chinese restaurant.
More random numbers? Or just a series of typos?
You don't have to knock these. They're perfectly valid divinations.
Kevin, those are just proverbs printed onto paper. I bet they download them from some site. They're nothing compared to a true gifted seer.
Wanna bet?
You're doing the laundry for a month.
You get to handle the bathrooms.
None of your folding clothes.
Kevin smiles, reaching into his pocket. He brings out a fortune cookie and places it into Marie's hand.
Kevin, it's not even open yet. You're really betting a month of toil on a random cookie?
There's no random chance here. It's preordained.
Uh-huh.
Marie breaks open the cookie, splitting it in 2. Kevin takes a piece and puts it into her mouth. She looks at him, but slowly chews and swallows. Kevin does the same.
A new way of breaking bread?
It'll all make sense soon. Marie shifts her eyes to the fortune cookie, the strip of paper before her. She reads it aloud.
Through darkness comes blessed light, a life renewed. Both partaking of a sacred vessel, a fortune and a holy union. Before angels weeping in joy, 2 strings tie their knot. Forever bonded through love, even in death they do not part. A joyous time yet awaits, shared and equal with the love of your life. Kevin, did you write?
It's time we weaved our own fate. This is our future, and I'll ensure it comes true. Kevin holds Marie tightly. She relaxes into his grasp, lightly crying. Her true love is here, breaking her family's curse of bad men. She'll work hard to keep him happy, giving more than she takes. They'll venture through life, tied together by threads of fate, whether ordained by seer or through a fortune of their own making. Alright, that is now good to go. That was a long-ass project, finally finished up. Which means I need to move this now. So, Dormitory now gets moved to a different folder. To completed. And now the two sit there, side by side. Alright, that's been handled. Head off and deal with some other things.